you know when judges, run off to their chambers, there's been a bit of a feeling for a while that somehow denotes that you're on victory. We discovered actually that when a judge first enters a chamber, he really is representing himself, and really all the laws of the society we think are by the Parliament, but really they're all bylaws of the Bar Society. So in that first instance, when you establish your standing, unless the judge provides remedy, he is in dishonour, yeah?
Yep.
So if a judge doesn't want to provide remedy, what he can do is he can leave the court, which is what we see when they run out, but when he returns, he doesn't return to a form of court based on the rules of the Bar Society. He returns now, changing the form of the court without us seeing anything physically change, into full Admiralty Court. Now, unless you then re-establish your standing again, then it's as if you no longer have any standing, because it's a brand new court. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yep. Gotcha.
Now, it also that what you ask for has to change as well, because if you ask for the wrong thing, they won't give it to you. So under the Bar Society, in the first form, it's remedy. But under the second form, because it's gone to pure Admiralty, you really have only two choices. If you don't establish standing, they will treat you as salvage under the laws of Oleron, which is the base laws, and they're all fictional, but under the claimed laws that the Roman cult and the Venetians use for commerce. So that salvage, you're dead, right? You're just a four-poster bed. If you re-establish your standing, which you must do when the judge returns, what you ask for is cure and maintenance, not remedy, because cure and maintenance is the form of remedy under the law. Yeah?
Yeah, I've never heard that one before.
Well, under Admiralty law, the laws of Oleron is the base for it all. So it's always good to get back to the source document. And under that, what it says is, salvage is salvage. Okay, there is no life salvage in maritime law. So if you're dead, you're going to be salvaged and basically put into some holding building, right? That's why they'll put you in prison. You're just a bit of cargo going to a warehouse. Yeah. But if you establish yourself as living, then under the laws of Oleron, that means you're a sailor, okay, on a ship of state, and they must provide you cure. It's actually not just cure, but maximum cure and maintenance until your health is restored. So it actually is a stronger remedy than if the judge had never run out and returned. But what the judge is trying to do is basically re-establish superior jurisdiction by tricking the defendant into not re-establishing their standing. Yes?
Yep.
And sadly, I feel that this happens, I think, almost 90% of the time, that a man or woman learns the art of establishing their standing. Judges get wind of it. They're more often than not running from the chamber. The truth movement are told that is a good sign, so it's actually being misinterpreted.
Right.
But when they come back, what they're doing is they've re-established their honour. It's a totally different court. It's now purely Admiralty court. And unless you re-establish standing and ask for the correct remedy for Admiralty law, they will not give it to you. Yeah?
Interesting.
And they can do it once more, Vic.
Yep.
If you're in a federal court, they can leave again for the third and final time. And if they leave again and they return, they come back as a high priest of the religion of Baal and under the protection of the ecclesiastical laws of canon law, where they are treated as an ordinary. So they're basically sitting there as a representative of the Curia. It's as if you're in front of the Pope. Yeah?
Right.
Now, this is rarely done because a mistake at this level is a very serious error on their part, and they could, if they do an error of dishonour at this third level, they lose They lose being a judge forever. Yeah?
Is that right?
But it's the last chance for them to basically get one over you. And it's only at that point that the claim of sovereignty of a living flesh being between oneself and God can be used. At no other point does it have any remedy. So really what's happened with sovereignty is, I believe sovereignty is, because of that, is a genuine remedy, but only in the very, very rarest occurrences.
Right.
But other than that, it's turned out to be a terrible, terrible distraction for people.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And people believe that when a judge runs out of the courtroom, they think it's funny.
And I think that is part of the misinformation that has been presented, sadly, because the people think of it in terms of battle. Really, what they're watching is a judge leaving to re-establish their honour because they don't wish to offer remedy, returning into a brand new court. Yeah.
Yep. As I say, this is the first I've heard of this in these second and third appearances coming back to the court.
Well, understanding what they're doing exactly, and in fact, I'll tell you where we found validation for this. The word bar in bar association has been deliberately, firstly it comes from 1823, so it's relatively recent, but its history has been clouded from a name that is supposed to have been a wash-up of the temple bar and tradition. It actually turns out to be one of the most powerful magic words available to these magicians that curse. I mean, when they sentence you, they're issuing a curse. They're issuing a spell. Yeah? What we've failed to realize is that we're dealing with people who, for a living, perform magic. And we've forgotten that everything about them is about staying in honour with their magic. If they lose their power of magic, they can't issue orders. That's why if they're in dishonour, a judge has to step down because their orders have no magical power under their system. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's actually the reason. And the proof is in the name of these societies. The word bar is a magic word in that what you see is one word, but really what you should be seeing is bar bar 3 times. That's what the word actually means. Bar bar, bar bar, bar bar. That's what bar is. And bar bar means father in Hebrew, and it means priest in Hebrew.
That's interesting.
And it particularly means a Baal priest. A Baal.
That's what it means, a Baal priest. Now,
A Baal or Baal?
Well, Baal. Baal is 2 words. Bar, which is Lord, and then El. And the L is abbreviated. So Baal with the apostrophe means Lord God. Yeah?
Right.
So Bar, just on its own, means Lord. So what you have is the word Bar also means son of, as you've probably seen in Hebrew, like Simon Bar Jonah, Simon, son of Jonah. Yeah? But it also means practitioner of. So what you have is Bar, practitioner of Bar. Bar, practitioner of, abbreviated B-A-R, B, Baal, A, by, R, Romanum. So practitioner of Baal through Rome. Yeah? Bar, another word for canon, rule, standard. Okay? Practitioner of Bar, practitioner of canon law. Yeah?
Yes.
They tell you.
Yeah, one other use of bar is the beginning of barbarians, which comes from the Greek, and it means that the people spoke in the manner that they spoke. It was not understandable, just like legalese. So that's where the word barbarian came from. And of course it's part of bar, where they speak legalese, where only they can understand the words and we can't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So what we see in the word itself is a supremely powerful magic word that they are using to present themselves. And so they're really telling people that they are religious. The canon law tells that all courts are considered temples. That's what the canon law is doing, is giving validation to the fact that the courts are called oratories, and it's in canon law, and priests, judges and priests called ordinaries. But what this is doing is validating what we're witnessing, that the judge leaving and returning is really changing the form of the court to more senior, more powerful law. It's showing that a judge is holding levels of power. It's showing that a judge is absolutely dripping in being a priest, a Baal priest, and that the authority of the judge and the ability to sentence is purely an ecclesiastical and sacramental power. It has nothing to do with adjudication or agreement. Their ability to judge and sentence is purely by remaining in honour of their ecclesiastical powers. So when you present an ecclesiastical notice of dishonour that gives notice of dishonour by their rules, a judge loses their power. And it turns out that all this argument about liens and things that people have had for years, that, if you get a lien on a judge, the judge has to leave, the lien means nothing. The lien is irrelevant. What's happening is when someone perfects that notice of protest and dishonour to the point that it has some ecclesiastical power, the judge is screwed.
Right.
Now, the problem that remains is this, and we're draining the swamp to the point that in Pennsylvania now, there's no more playing around. That they are holding firm to their claim of canon law jurisdiction, but there's no more misdirection or fluff. We're down to the, we see the white of their eyes, they see us, we know who they are, they don't quite know who we are. The canon law that we're doing now is the last thing. Once canon law is established for what it is, they cannot claim superior jurisdiction anymore.
Right.
But really, once you can rightfully remove their ecclesiastical power, their people are dead in the water. They can't do their job.
Right. You disempowered them.
Yeah, well, that's their power. It turns out is magic. Their power is, if I can't curse you, then I can't do my job. And that's what a judge is supposed to do: is to issue judgments, and their judgments are curses. The curse establishes a debt. The debt is the monetization. That's what they do. Have you ever heard the story in the New Testament about Jesus removing 100 demons and then putting them into pigs and they jump off a cliff?
That's not in my Bible.
Okay, well, there's a story that, and it might only be in the Vulgate, the Roman cult's Vulgate, but it's the story of Jesus banishing 100 demons from a fellow and then putting them into the pigs, and the pigs jump off the cliff. But the point of the story is it demonstrates the rebound of magic in terms of curses. So what it's implying is that Jesus cursed the demons. The demons then left the body, and then Jesus got the demons into the pigs so that effectively the rebound wouldn't occur. There's actually a quote, "Judge not lest ye be judged." Yes?
Yep. Yep.
That should actually be, "Curse not lest ye be cursed." Okay? The Egyptians knew, and these people are magicians. Remember, they're sorcerers. They're into magic. The Egyptians knew that the most powerful spell is a curse spell. But the downside of a curse spell is when it matures, it returns with interest.